out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes. Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vine, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as the valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark. Sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark.
Yeah, it is the Hump-Day edition of the program. Hope everybody's doing well.
Up the dark. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders.
Join us in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room, or you can hit me up on the Professional Go Incorporated text line here from our Family Fencing Studios. It is Hump Day. See the camel. That means it's Hump Day. That is Henry the Camel, by the way. Yeah, that's the name I've given him, Henry. Henry the Hump Day Camel. Kion Brown joins us on the program coming up. Damien Sordelett and David Teel. And you and me and all of our wonderful sponsors and everybody in between. All of our international subscribers. Welcome to BDST on a Wednesday. So we have a lot going on. We're going to talk about the artist formerly known as the Virginia quarterback suing for another year of college eligibility. Good piece in the Collegiate Times that's making some noise. Sam Mostow requesting that Virginia Tech share the contractual information of its players because of the Freedom of Information Act. And Virginia Tech said no. And this brings up not only the debate around, Virginia Tech, but elsewhere. The response they got, it was published here in the Collegiate Times. The requested records, this is from Tech. The requested records are considered scholastic records concerning identifiable individuals. Accordingly, the request was denied. Then they tried again on that. They say they have no duty to do that. So Tech not doing anything wrong by withholding the information. I don't know how many schools actually come forward. I don't know of any, to be honest with you. So Tech's not out of line here in terms of what everybody else is doing. This is the first time I've seen a publication, one that is actually involved with the same school, trying to get this information out. Now, the NCAA structure, according to the article, designates athletes as students, and because of that, their records are no different from anyone else enrolled in the university. So it's going to be interesting to see if once, and I believe it's going to happen, once we've talked about this a lot, once the athletes are designated as employees, then I believe you're going to see this change, and we're going to find out exactly what the roster would be. And the thing about it, or how much it would be, I don't think anybody's going to cast any judgment over it. It's not like somebody's going to go, hey, look how much money they spent, because everybody's spending. I mean, heck, you have some schools that put it out there. They didn't go individual, but they, Ohio State and Texas Tech wanted to show you that they've spent over $60 million trying to help recruit next year's portal class. So, I mean, it's not like anybody's going to look at this and go, ooh, boy, I can't believe you did that. But it's interesting. The public institutions are going to fight back against this. So we'll see how it all happens, and we'll see if we actually get the state employee thing. If that doesn't happen, this thing's going to crash and burn quicker than we thought. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see. It's good that the Collegiate Times, someone's actually doing a reporting piece, which is kind of cool. Somebody's actually, and nice to see young people actually doing journalism. But yeah, Tech not doing anything by the board here. I don't want anybody to think that that's the case, but it was interesting nonetheless. And we'll talk to David Teel a little bit about that. He's also written a great piece, by the way, on Ronyell Whitaker. We're going to talk to David about that and get updated everything that's going on in the world of ACC basketball here as we head into the final couple of weeks of regular season play. So Chandler Morris wants to come back, and he's going to sue the NCAA for his 7th year. And we're seeing this a lot, aren't we? We're seeing this pop up everywhere across the country. And we'll talk to David about this. It is amazing to me. This whole system has created this desire to continue to stay in school so you can play, so you can continue to stay at the collegiate level to play college football, not necessarily stay in school. And it's happening everywhere. It is. And now it's hit here in the Commonwealth with Chandler Morris. Now, they've replaced him already at UVA. I believe they brought in a couple quarterbacks from Power 4 schools. So if he gets another year of eligibility, he won't be playing at UVA. And I don't know how many teams right now across the country, how many programs didn't fill their quarterback need. Maybe Duke. I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how it all plays out. But you're going to see more and more of this. It's their last shot at a big payday. Morris is not an NFL future. Doesn't have an NFL future. And it's very, very interesting. And I'll be curious to see how this suit goes. Every time we talk about the lawsuits in NCAA, they lose. So he's going to be testing that. But we'll talk to David Teel about all these things. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, what a can of worms indeed. Oh, of course it's costing tax dollars. Absolutely, Prometheus. No question. No question. So we'll talk about these things with David Teel coming up. Then we'll get into Chandler Morris. And will there come a time when finally the schools won't have to open their books until the athletes become employees? As long as they're designated as students, nobody's going to share anything. So it was a good question to ask. It brought some conversation to it by the Collegiate Times. So kudos to them. But I don't believe it's one of those situations where it's going to happen anytime soon from anybody. Now, some schools want to use it as a recruiting tool. Like I said, they're not going to go to individual contracts, but we get reports of the offers, and then the agents of these players put it out there, just like the agents of the coaches put things out there, right? When the Mensa kid was transferring from Duke to Miami, they immediately said $6 to $7 million, right? Crazy, absolutely crazy. So a lot of people not happy to see Chandler Morris doing this, but nonetheless, it's where we are. It's where we are. So we have that we will get to. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of text messages about all this. Get a job, they say. Get a job. Get a job. Well, I guess college football probably is his job. And that's what he's thinking, right? That's the whole point. College football is his job. And he knows that that's his last payday. So, yeah, I think he's trying to keep his job. How's that? Yeah, it's over, TLB. Yeah, those days are over. And really all that comes now is the acceptance of how it adjusts. Like, there's no going back. There's no all it's going to be is a remembrance of the way college sports drew us all in and what made it unique. But it's never going to go back. I don't believe, my personal opinion is I don't see, unless everybody just goes bankrupt, I do not believe anyone is going to force any change in the current system. I just don't see it. I just think there's enough people that care about anything but what's in front of them. I just don't see, there's nobody that has the greater good at the forefront, especially the people running it, right? So to me, it's interesting. 24-year-olds shouldn't be playing against 18, 17. Yeah, exactly. Then you start, this used to be an argument. Remember back when it still happens with Utah, the Mormon schools, when they go on their mission, those kids are 2 years older, 2 to 3 years older than the rest. And that used to be an issue. Now you're going to have it. There's going to be kids 25, 26 years old playing against 17A. It's a good point. But the rules will allow it. And we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see what happens with his lawsuit. I really am. I am very, very curious to see what happens with the lawsuit. See how far it goes, see if it's dropped, and to see if there's any kind of leverage here. I've lost track of the rules. Some of the guy, you think about what happened to the kid at Mississippi, right? He waited, he got shot down 3 times, and then he finally found a judge who ruled in his favor. Is he going to find a judge? Well, think about it. If he finds a judge who graduated from UVA, he won't be playing for UVA. They've already paid their quarterback a lot. I think we know here, TLB, we see it for what it is, but but I think you're right. I think it's intentional blinders because of the fear of everything. It's dangerous to take a step to fight it from the NCAA's perspective. So they don't. And they just allow things to continue to roll. No harm, no foul at this point. Pandora's box has been opened. So here we are. And we're just going to have to adjust. The consumer is going to have to adjust, and that's where we are. Like when your favorite TV show kills off one of your favorite characters, yet they try to replace that role with another character that kind of brings the same antagonist or comrade relationship with the rest of the cast, and you have to sit there and go, okay. I mean, is college sports going to end up like the Andy Griffith Show when Don Knotts left and then it went colorized and it fell completely apart? Or is it going to be like MASH in the long run? No show's done a better job of replacing major characters than MASH did through the years. If anybody remembers MASH, right? McLean Stevenson decided to leave, so Henry Blake got killed on the show, trying to fly home. You bring in Colonel Potter. He was awesome. You leave. Frank Burns leaves. You bring in Charles Winchester. Trapper John left. You bring in BJ. And everything flowed seamlessly. They were all different new characters, but yet they worked. And I don't think college football is going to be like that. I think college football is going, or college sports, I keep saying football, but the whole thing is going to end up like the Andy Griffith colorized uniforms. From Spruce Run Road in Newport to Courtney Place in Palm Coast, I can't put down Lauren Zisler's book. Hey, that's great. The ESPN reporter grew up less than 2 miles from you. Really? Nice. We'll have to tell her that. We're going to get Lauren back on here. Yeah, I think we sold 2 of her books while she was on here the other day. It was last week, last Wednesday. What's up, Rain Man? Rocky Marciano was the greatest boxer who ever lived. Well, a lot of people wouldn't argue with you. He never lost. Right? 49-0, right? Is that right? Let me double check that. Being a guy who took his swings in the ring, I like to consider myself a little boxing aficionado. Yeah, 49-0, 43 knockouts. He held the world heavyweight title from 52 to 56 and got out at the age of 32. Did not stay too long. How about that? Undefeated. There's only 2 in the heavyweight division you can really say, I think, that are the greatest of all time, and it's Ali and Marciano. Muhammad Ali, one of my sports heroes, so I'm always going to be a little biased there. Yeah. But we'll talk to David Teel about these topics, and we'll get your thoughts on it as well. Virginia won again last night. Virginia's playing really well, 90-61 over NC State. Duke crushed Notre Dame. I mean, they absolutely crushed them. They put up a hundy on it. And Miami won at Florida State. So it's a Duke, UVA, top 2. They have clearly separated themselves. Miami's sitting there at number 3. And it shows you, though, this is the thing about if you're a Tech fan. I mean, they had Miami on the ropes, so let it get away. Now, NC State beat them up pretty good. We'll see how they do against Carolina. They beat Clemson. Louisville got them. SMU was the half-court shot. They beat Cal, right? Didn't Tech beat Cal? And then the Florida State game, second half. So there's not a lot separating Tech from that middle tier is what I'm trying to get to. Right? When you look at the records and you look at actually, more importantly, when you look at the outcomes. What was the title of her book, Morris? Something like Unbroken, something like Bulletproof, or something like that. Was it Bulletproof? Shatterproof. Thank you. Shatterproof, TLB. Shatterproof. And it's doing well, as is Family Fencing Studios, a sponsor of our studio. Family Fencing, 540-200-8294 at familyfencingnrv.com. We're going to get warm this week. Give them a call. McClellan Chiropractic, thanks to Mark Hunley. Appreciate him. Ready, Set, Fun? ReadySetFun.com. If you want to have your organization make some money through text messages, email Bob Christ, CRIST11 at Gmail. Professional Door Incorporated, sponsor of our text line. Appreciate everything that they do for the program. National Bank member FDIC, exclusive banking partner of this show and yours truly. BDST fan question of the week, and it's not going well for those of you that voted in. Brought to you by Ryan Pry, the attorney. We've had about 17 responses, and 15 of them say Tech will not make the NCAA tournament. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment is the presenting sponsor of this program. Thanks to Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller for everything that they're doing. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply over in Christiansburg. Also in Christiansburg, the NRV Super Bowl. They've been doing it for 25 years. And Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. And if you want a t-shirt, hit me up. It's $20 locally. Prometheus, Virginia is getting respect. Look at them compared to Florida. Yeah, that's true. Virginia's really good. Really, really, really good. Good team. Really good team. And I could see them challenging Duke with the way they play. They made a terrific coaching hire, and it has really paid off. The in-between year didn't go so well with the interim, and now they've got a guy that's just the perfect fit. Ryan Odom is the perfect fit. Yeah, Duke carried that momentum from the Michigan game into South Bend, man. Woo! Crushed them. Good morning, Rodney. How are you? Hey, tell Mike I'll have my my article a little later this morning. Had some things pop up last night. Couldn't get it done. So we'll do that this morning. So please pass that along. Yeah, you might be right. I think you're right, Prometheus. Yeah. Although I'm hopeful, Nito, that game that he had, against Wake, maybe that'll wake him up here. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Prometheus hooked up with Morris. I remember that. Spruce Run Road, Morris. That sounds like a cool place. Hey, where are you going today? I'm going to Spruce Run Road. Oh, okay. Okay. Kion Brown will join us. We'll talk about hoops and all these things. In our league, we're in the final week of the regular season. And then in 2 weeks, Power Leagues will end, and it'll be time for the tournaments. Our tournament starts a week from this Friday. Hard to believe. But it is here. Radford finishes up at home tomorrow night against Upstate, and then we travel to Longwood on Saturday. Birds and bees weren't the only teaching methods. Was that like, rodents? Did that help too? Things like that, Morris? Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I did. I got tangled up last night, Rodney. I couldn't get the thing done. So I'll send it later today. So the situation with Chandler Morris will be interesting to follow, and the responses have been interesting reading this. He'd be on the move again. And the thing about it, when you go ahead and you sue to come back, let's say you win, where is he going to go? I don't know where he's going to go. I'm sure he's already talked to schools that said they would take him if he can get a year back. I'm sure he's already done his research. It's true. Radford and Tech have had a lot of, I was looking at that yesterday, preparing for the game. A lot of close losses for both Radford and Virginia Tech. 100%. Especially for Tech. Tech's had a lot more than Radford. A lot more. There he is. Kion Brown joining us. What's going on, man?
Rick Watson, what's going on, brother?
How are you?
I'm great, man. I can't complain about it. Think you good, man?
Yeah, I'm hanging busy, but good.
Yeah, man.
Get to see you on Saturday.
Yeah, man. We're in there. Can we thank Commissioner Montgomery for giving us an in-state rival to close out the season? Forget Duke and North Carolina. Forget Louisville and Kentucky. We got Radford and Longwood.
Well, I think the ADs are the ones who they're the ones who really push for that. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because what I just did was the practice of my open. So thanks for letting me know. Yeah, you just did that for me.
Well, yeah, like you try out your material with me.
That's there fine. You go.
Yeah, no problem. Well, we are in the last week of the regular season. High Point has separated itself. It's going to win the regular season. So Winthrop is sitting there. I think there's such a final, and Radford's not far behind. I mean, The top three are clearly those teams in terms of talent, but man, in our league, 4 through 7, dude, I don't know, man. What do you think?
It's been like that the last 5 years or something crazy like that, I know. Where it's come down to the last week of the regular season and one loss could cost you everything. I guess as long as you're not in that 8-9, you're good though. When you don't have to play Wednesday and then you take the day off, then you got to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday if you make it that far. But man, it's always been competitive like that. That's what I love about the Big South. It's always been like that.
Well, you're right. And I think it helps prepare the top teams really in a way for the tournament because all of a sudden they realize that you can get up and get bitten pretty quickly. Radford had a chance.
Yeah.
I got to say it. I'm sitting there, I'm watching the Asheville game. I'm sure you probably saw it, but you've probably watched it since then. But you had 3 chances to win the game.
Yep.
1 at the end of regulation, 2 in the overtime. And Dennis Parker Jr. doesn't touch the ball 1 time. And I don't understand how that happens. Because
it can't happen,
he's the best player on the floor.
Yeah.
And he was at that point, if he wasn't scoring in the second half, he was getting fouled because he's just, So Radford let one get away, and now, they're sitting there, and they'll probably finish up successfully on Thursday.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be a toss-up on Saturday against Longwood. So
yeah, Longwood's a team is hit or miss. You don't know what you're going to get from them.
I know.
Their ceiling is beating Winthrop, and their floor is losing to USC Upstate. I mean, that's just what it is. And they blew out Winthrop. It wasn't even close in the conference opener. I had that game, and they were just more physical. They played a better flow of offense. And then when you have been as inconsistent in them, you'll be like, which team is this? So Longwood is a team that can make a run in the tournament because they have the talent to, and I think they have the coaching. But Coach Thomas is one of those guys. He's new. He doesn't know what he doesn't know yet, and he's got a group of staff around him that have been there and done that. But when you're the head man and everything is on you, there's some things you got to learn, and he's still in that learning curve for his first year. But the inconsistencies of Longwood has been really concerning to me. But to their credit, it was another coach. It was Griff Aldridge. The same thing happened 2 years ago. They were 6-10 in conference play.
That's right.
And then they go to High Point, and, they win their opening matchup against Winthrop, who was really good that year, who had Kelton Talford, on that Thursday or on that Friday. And then on that Saturday, you play against High Point, the number 1 seed. It was a home game for them, even though it was quote unquote neutral because it was the tournament. You're down 15, you come back, you win that game, and then you blow out UNC Asheville and Drew Pember in the championship game. So Coach Thomas is used to being in this position and making a run in March, but it's going to be tougher this season because as the players in the Big South have gotten better over the year because of the transfer portal, so have the teams overall. So it's going to be tougher for Longwood, and Radford's on the up and up. So it's going to be a great matchup on Saturday.
Wayne says you're like bringing a 5-star off the bench to give the team a jolt.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Which 5 stars come off the bench, though? I want more NIL. Or it doesn't even matter anymore, right? If you're a 5-star, it's all about the money. I don't care about playing anymore. How much money you getting?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. Has there been a better fit that you can think of recently, more so than Ryan Odom in Charlottesville?
Absolutely not.
I mean, my goodness gracious, you know a lot about him, and he's just a great dude, first and foremost, and a terrific coach. And, man, what a great marriage that's been, huh?
Well, everywhere he goes, he just wins. We talk about Griff Aldridge. He's this guy that's on the staff over there at UVA. You think of, that's who they got over there. It's Max Lewis. It's Taj DeRitter, the 23 going on 24-year-old freshman. But Coach Odom is a guy who just, you go to UMBC, you upset UVA for the first time, the first 16 over a 1 seed. You go to Utah State, you win the Mountain West Conference. You go to VCU, you do the same thing. As soon as you get there, you're in the Atlantic 10 championship, and the next year you win it. And now you're at UVA, and you are pretty much the only team in the league that everyone is going to take seriously to beat Duke. I mean, it's just been unbelievable what he's been getting done. But he's, like you say, he's the perfect fit. My mom and I were watching his press conference when he got hired to be the coach of UVA. He just looked like he belonged there.
I know.
Like the suit, the orange tie, it was like this job was made for you. And Coach Bennett as well, but he's out of there. But what a better way to follow up a coach from Coach Bennett. You got a year Coach Sanchez, that was just an interim run. To have Coach Odom come in now, come on, man. He's picked up right where he left off. UVA basketball is back, and it's because of him.
Yeah.
The thing about UVA, though, that can concern me come tournament time, and everybody should pay attention to this, they're one of those teams that lives and die by the 3. And since they live and die by the 3, you have one off night, and they could get tough for you. So they are upsettable, if that's a word that we're just going to make up on BDST. They're a team that can be upset because if you're not knocking down shots, it could be a quick night for you, and you could end up losing.
So we won't get to hear one another on Saturday's broadcast, but you and I both now have to use the word upsettable.
Upsettable. Somehow. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to stick that in there.
I'll let you know when I do it during our
game. I got you. Give you the old thumbs up.
I make up words. Yeah, I'll look at you go. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech. Now, Carolina, kudos to them. They've got 2 big wins, and they have not cashed it in. They're trying to figure out to play a different way without their superstar. I hope he's back because he's so good. I like to watch him playing college basketball before he goes to the NBA and gets completely ruined. But what do you think about Carolina and their bounce back? That was a nice win for them on Monday night.
Yeah, well, Seth Trimble played out of his mind. And if you have guys who are going to step up and, fill in that void of your best player, then you always give yourself a chance to win. You just got to hold the fort down until he's able to come back. Should be back tournament time. That's what I'm hearing, at least by tournament time. And if you can get him back, who knows what the adjustment period is going to be like for him to get acclimated to getting back on the court, because that's a real thing, getting your second win. You could practice all you want, but nothing is like simulating game reps. But I'm still, and I've been saying it all season, I'm still not on the UNC train. I'm not. I love the front court. I love the two bigs when they're healthy, but that's just about it. And Trimble, but that's just about it for me. I think they have inconsistent point guard play. I think they have inconsistencies at making decisions. If their bigs aren't playing at All-American type levels at the same time, they'll pretty much lose. I haven't been on North Carolina all season long, and I'm not riding that train now. I know they had the win over Duke. That was huge. But in those rivalry matchups, anything can happen. So I pretty much throw those out at the end of the day. North Carolina isn't the team that most people think they are.
How much work does Virginia Tech still have to do to get back into consideration? A win on Saturday would go a long way, right, at Carolina?
You pretty much have to go the rest of the season. You need that win on Saturday versus Carolina, and you at least need to make it to the ACC championship game. Other than that, you're not making it. They're just not. It's over. For all of the talent and all of the hype they had coming into the season, I think that when guys are getting paid the way guys are getting paid, you're basically pros now. You need to call out your best players. And it's been a lot of inconsistencies from Neo Abdallah. For as much of the hype as he's gotten all season long, the ceiling was because of how good people thought that he would be. Right. And he just hasn't been that. You got it versus Providence, and they got all of the Tech fans happy, and the New River Valley guys putting on their dancing shoes, and we're going to the tournament, yay. But he just hasn't been the guy. And that has been why they haven't been as consistent. It's just on the back of New York dollars. You get paid, you got to put pressure on players. It's the way of the game now.
Yeah. No, it is. It goes to show just because you spend a lot of money doesn't mean you spend it wisely.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they thought they were, and maybe he'll show up here late and kind of recoup some of that investment for Virginia Tech. We'll see. Coach Elmo wanted me to ask you a question. How about that? He loves you, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate you, buddy.
He said, can you ask Kion how good of a prospect the Ritter kid is at UVA? Could he be an NBA player? He says he looks like an NFL tight end to him.
Yeah. I think he could be an NBA prospect. I think the NBA is starting to slowly but surely say we're going to lean more so not only on guys' potential, but if they can actually play. And the guy that really changed that to me was Jaime Jaquez from UCLA. He was a 4-year guy. He got drafted, came in, made an immediate impact. Now, the thing about the Ritter is how long is he going to stay in college? What's going to be his draft? Like, what's his analysis coming out? Where do you guys think he's going to go? Because he's pretty old. As a freshman, he's a 23-year-old freshman. He might be 24 now, but that's the day of an age of college basketball. But at the same time, folks do consider that. Like, I'll see if it's one thing to be a 20 or 21-year-old freshman. To be a 23, 24-year-old freshman, that could change a lot. But he has pro experience, and he pretty much goes as UVA goes as he goes. So he's a really good player, but he's an old guy too.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Let's call him UVAARP because of how old he is.
I like that.
Yeah.
Tech fans are saying, really, it's the Kion. Come on. If Tech beats UNC, BC, and UVA, they still wouldn't get in?
I still don't. They got some bad losses on their resume, man. They really do. You already beat UVA. And most times in those rivalries, what's going to happen? You split. Right, UVA is going to try to get back there, and I think they're going to get it.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough to beat them. And I was the guy when they won the ACC tournament back a couple of years ago who didn't leave the VTech train. I said they still got enough to win it. They made their run and they won. Now guys got hot. Hunter Couture was out, shot the ball out of his mind. But that's what you need come tournament time. You need to get hot. Your defense has to travel. You got to knock down free throws. And Virginia Tech did all of that. I just don't see that happening this year. I want it to happen. One of the most influential people in my life is on that staff. I hate saying this, But at the end of the day, I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen. Do I want it to happen? No. But I do feel comfortable in saying that they won't make the tournament.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're talking about JD Byers,
Yeah.
and y'all are close. I know he's been very disappointed with how it's gone. So yeah, we'll see. Got to get over 500 though in the conference. You're not going to be considered at all if you have a under 500 conference record.
Yeah, not at all. Even though the ACC is much improved, you got to get over 500, like you said, man. You have to.
I want to ask you a question. It pertains to college football, but now you see what's going on now with Chandler Morris, UVA quarterback, suing for his 7th year. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of players doing this. And we're seeing the professionalism of college sports now take hold. Guys are looking at this as their job after their degree. They want to hang on as long as they can to make as many bucks as they can because the environment tells them that they can.
Well, I need to go and put in a waiver to see if I got any eligibility left. Right? Let's do that. Why not?
Just sue.
Yeah, just sue. Sue Coach Lindenberg and Radford and say, I need to get a football scholarship at Radford. They're going to look at me like I got 4 heads. Do I get 4 years to play football since I have eligibility left in college? Like,
and you can play basketball instead. Yeah.
But at the same time, though, I understand it. Guys aren't going to the NFL. Guys aren't going to get huge paydays. So you're trying to squeeze as much out of that orange as possible. That's what they're trying to do. You're just trying to get as much money as you possibly can. Manage your money. That's the best advice I can give to those young guys. I know you're young. You want to be flashy. You want the jewelry. You want the cars. You want to impress the girls. Save your money. Who knows what the NFL, the NBA is going to look like for you? You might not get drafted, and you might have to be a quote unquote normal human being and get a normal job when college is over. And there's nothing wrong with that. You guys are in a day and age where you get a nice chunk of change and you can set yourself up for the rest of your life. What an advantage that you have. Guys got to manage their money better. That's what I think of when I hear that. Yeah. I think it's a guy getting low on funds, not spending and saving his money right. He's trying to get as much as possible, and they're going to deny it. 7 years is ridiculous. You'll be working on your PhD by then. What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
Well, and he went through the process, realized he didn't get invited to the combine. Combine started this week. Not a shock to see the timing of this, right? Yep. I'm not an NFL guy at all, so I'm not going to get drafted. Nobody's going to pick me up. So let's see if I can sue to another year to get paid a couple $1 million, whatever it might be, right, to go be somebody's quarterback. That's the whole point of all this. That's the whole point of him doing this.
So, it is. And come on, man. What are we doing? It's over, and that's okay. You guys aren't special. Right?
Yeah.
Back then, you get a 5th year back if you redshirted. Now it's like guys are just trying to just make up any old thing to keep playing. I get the money is there, but my gosh, understand the history. This is college basketball. There's a time where you have to move out so the next crop of players can come in. You're done. It is okay. Life goes on. Move on with it.
Wayne, he will be in there. Keon's always in. You'll be in our BDST tournament bracket.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now we can't. We'll come up with some prizes and stuff. But yeah, Keon will be in there. Everybody wants you in there. So yeah.
Oh, no doubt about it. Come on, man. That's like we already know. What's understood doesn't have to be explained.
Exactly right. Of course he'll be in there. Well, it's not going to go away, and you have people clamoring to know what kids are being paid. These young guys are being paid, but they're not going to. They're not going to have to. They're not going to have to show it. The Collegiate Times article challenging Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech saying no. And Tech's not doing anything wrong because they're not employees, and nobody has to show anything. Now the schools want to brag, right? We saw Ohio State and Texas Tech say, "Hey, we spent $60 million. You want to make some money? Come on, come on." So but nobody's ever going to have to open their books right now anyway. The way it's set up.
Yeah, and at the same time, you got all that money, but it guarantees you nothing. It really doesn't. And I think of Kentucky basketball. If you have the highest, salary on your roster, guys getting paid the most there as a collective unit, and it's not resulting in the wins. Now, they've been playing better as of late, but they're not a team to be taken that seriously. It just doesn't guarantee success. Guys get the money and they take a step back, and naturally so. Those guys are a certain age. They don't understand, and they don't know what they don't know. So they're going to have that money. They're going to be excited that they got the money, and then they're not going to work as hard. That's why you can bring it to the NBA. That's why guys like LeBron, Steph, and KD are always to be commended because they've got multiple paydays and they've been just as hungry out on the court in all these years that they've been playing. It's something everybody can't have that. Everybody can't have that type of mindset. And when you're that young getting that type of money, you definitely don't have it. And the ones who do are very rare. They're super rare.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, I don't know if I were to win a lottery, if I could handle the money where I am at in my advanced stage of life, if I could handle it, much less being 20, 21 years old and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, like $3 million in my bank account.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how we expect that to kind of work, be cohesive. How do you handle that kind of thing? I don't know.
Yeah. And it's not, and you have a lot of people in your ear too. These guys in college basketball, a lot of people, for our viewers, there's a lot of these college basketball players who have managers and agents. And their percentages are going to those managers and those agents. And it's just the managers and agents, sometimes you have to be careful because they want what's best for their self. So if they can get you a deal, you get your money, but those percentages are going elsewhere as well. Hopefully guys are saving their money. That's all I can say. The NBA only has 60 picks. It's so hard to get to the NBA as a free agent. The NFL draft has more rounds than the NBA, but it's easier, it seems like, to get cut because they bring so many guys in for training camp. And you watch Hard Knocks or something, you see how guys are dropping like flies, especially when you're rookie free agents. It's just tough.
Oh, yeah.
Save your money. Save it. That's the theme of our segment this week. Just save it.
And one final note, this will be the last year of 68 teams in the NCAA tournament. You and I have been trying to stop this for a long time. They didn't listen to us.
Yeah.
I don't know what the number is going to look like, but it looks like everybody's dead set on destroying the best event that we have in this country in terms of sports.
Yeah, we knew it was inevitable. We've been talking about this for years. Now, there's ways around it. We've talked about this for years as well. There's ways around it where you can make it better. But will they try to do that? I doubt it. They're just going to have the Big Souths in the MAC, the MAACs, and, the Southern Conferences and the Sun Belts and those leagues. Those guys will be playing on those play-ins in Dayton. They're going to have those guys instead of having the teams that are on the bubble fighting it out to try to get to the main field. That's the easiest way to fix it if you want. I'm telling you, it will be so much better than what we have now. And I love the format because even, back in 2019 when Radford won the tournament, you were there. You play, who was it? LIU Brooklyn, I think it was.
LIU Brooklyn. Beat them.
Right.
Yeah.
You win the game, and then your grand prize is to play the number one overall seed Villanova. And Radford, this is a fun fact, was the only team to cover the spread that year in that tournament, I think, versus Villanova.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I understand it, but at the same time, you can make it better. If you win your conference tournament, the grand prize to be automatically in the main field. The play-in should be left to be battled out between those high major schools who have the alumni and who have the funding to get their, fan base to the game. Radford is a bit tougher for the fans to get to, multiple games because you go to Dayton, you win the game, then you get right on the plane and you go to the next location to pretty much lose because that's what they're putting you in there for because you're going to play the number overall seed, just like Mount St. Mary's last year's won in their first play-in, and then they ended up playing Duke. So there's ways to fix it and make it better. Let's see if they do that. I think it's an easy fix if you want to expand it. That's just me, though.
No, 100%. 100%. And the coaches I talked to, it's not going to be a subtle change. I mean, they all expect it to go to at least 90 teams.
Oh, God, that's crazy. That's
60,
crazy.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Everything's about money, man.
I know. All right. Well, great stuff as always, brother. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Yeah, man. We're in there. Let's see what happens.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Remember, what's the word we're using?
Upsettable.
Upsettable. Okay.
There we go.
Remind me.
Yep. There we go. I got you.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
All right, bro.
All right. Be good. All right. Kion Brown. I do that all the time. I come up with words. I'm like, is that a word? Sounds good to me. It is perfect, Prometheus. Kion and I have been trying to fight it for years. We've been trying to stop it. They won't listen. Yeah, unfortunately, the coaches, as a matter of fact, talked to Mike Morrell about it a little bit on Saturday at Asheville. They've all either been given some clue, or they all have the same talking point? Because I've heard from 5 or 6 different coaches it's going to go to at least 90 teams next year. They want more TV. Keon's right. You're right. It's about money. They want more TV dollars. They want more games on. They want more opportunities to sell advertising. That's what it's all about. The SEC and the Big Ten have pushed this. They want more power teams. I don't want to watch a bunch of power teams in the tournament. Go watch conference games for that. That doesn't do anything for me. Not at all. I want to watch what he just talked about, right? I want to watch the Radfords, the Mount St. Mary's. I want to watch these schools. That's what makes the whole thing fun, but they've lost sight of that. And it's going to happen. So enjoy it this year, eat it up, and then probably, middle of May, June, we're going to see the official announcement. You got the moron leading the DNCAA, Charlie Baker, coming out. Yes, I think it'd be a wonderful idea to expand it to as many as possible. Idiot. Just a moron. Oh, there's absolutely no doubt, Wayne, that high school kids are being paid. Trust me. And many of them are being paid to play at certain schools, even if they don't necessarily live in the closest proximity to that school. Oh, 100% it is happening. You better believe it. You better believe it. You're right. I haven't played the out of nowhere guy. I don't know why I haven't done that. I kind of forget about him. Do I even still have it? All right, let's see. Wow. I got so busy last night with other things, I couldn't finish my article on the Patriot. I'm going to have to do it today.
Oh, my. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was out of nowhere.
There we go. Yeah, just make a word up on the fly. There you go. Yeah, we'll do that. He and I will use that word during our broadcasts on Saturday. Our dueling broadcasts on Saturday. I think I'll have Neil with me. And Kion, of course, is the analyst for Longwood basketball. Oh, my goodness gracious. Jack Hughes with the slap shot wins it in overtime for Team USA as they get the gold medal.
Oh, my. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I did with old no guy. I don't know why. I just kind of let that go. Yeah. I'll do better, I promise. It fits. Just give me a scenario in chat. Just give me a scenario in chat. It fits. It doesn't matter what it is. The old my guy who was describing a fight as a hitter went around the bases. Yeah, Brandon, you got shot down pretty good. You know why? Because he wanted to take your spot. That's why. So he took your spot. He's making you stay back and work while he goes with me. My brother's kid plays football in Alabama. They had the number 1 player in Alabama. He was driving a brand new Mercedes. Yeah. Yeah, high school kids have been getting paid for a while now. It started with the AAU teams paying high school kids to wear certain gear, to represent at certain tournaments. Yeah. The other day I had no choice. The lunch they got us at work was Panera Bread, and I didn't break but only 6 of my teeth.
Oh, my. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was out of nowhere.
Imagine driving around and going, wow, yeah, it's lunchtime. I'm getting pretty hungry. Hey, I know I got 6 other choices over here, but there's a Panera. Yeah. I think I'm going to go get a bowl of soup. Yeah. I'll get some of that jaw-breaking bread. That'll be good. Yeah, why don't I do that? I'll go get some drink that has 3 different types of juices in it. Yeah. And then I'll be satiated the rest of the day. My birthday gift was Dave Matthews Day. Worst birthday ever. Speaking of sponsorship, we hope to be able to announce another new sponsor here in the next day or two. Things are moving. Yeah. And it would be my luck too. The one day that I would choose to go to Panera, in the background on the speaker, there would be a Dave Matthews song. There's no question. Absolutely no question. David Teel. A little bit later on, Damien Sordelett will join us here in just a second. The Virginia Tech football beat writer for the Roanoke Time. Can I just get a... That's all I need. And I can make that here. Heat it up, put the cheese on it I want, a little mayo, and then I'm out the door. Put it in a baggie. It's all I need. Because the bread that I have won't shatter my entire dental work. Hey, would you like some broccoli soup with that? No, I think what I'm going to do is just go outside and you see this nail gun? And see if I can just jam it through my skull as many times before I decease. No apricots seated. Just love my food swimming around in liquid that gets cold after 26 seconds. I'm ready to tackle the second half of my workday. That'll be $27.95 for your bowl of cold soup. And your denture breaking bread. Enjoy. Have a great day. It's always a great day, and we're joined by that gentleman. He is the Virginia Tech football beat writer for the Roanoke Times, Damien Sordelett. What's up, Damien? How are you?
Morning, Rick. Morning, everyone. Hopefully it's warming up this week after Mother Nature turned the AC on blast.
Yeah, I think today a little warmer, and then by the end of the week, hopefully. I'm with you. Terrible. It's terrible. Understand you're suing for a 7th year of eligibility. Is that right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I guess the whole I want to sue for. Yeah, it goes back to Chandler Morris' year at TCU when he started, got hurt, and then played. Now he came in for to kneel downs. This is sort of if you're really hurt, they shouldn't even be putting you in a game.
Correct.
So, and Virginia's already spent its money on quarterbacks. So, where's he going to go?
Yeah. Did he talk to some schools and say, is Duke a possibility? I don't know. I'm just using them as an example since they lost.
Or is Clemson a possibility since that's where his dad's now the OC at?
No, there's a good take. Yeah. He's gotten some information that says, "Hey, man, if you can get another year, we'll take you right now and pay you whatever we're going to pay you." Right? Somehow he's gotten that, and he knows he's not an NFL draftable or a walk-on free agent guy, so he's trying to get as much money as he can. It's going to be interesting to see if he wins. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have him at Virginia Tech to give the Hokies actually someone who has a lot more experience than Ethan Grunkemeyer. But again, I think Tech's happy with his quarterbacks and doesn't want that issue of Morris.
The Clemson thing. Who did Clemson bring? I don't even know. Who'd they bring in for Klubnik?
I don't know if they brought in or if they're just expecting Klubnik's backup to be ready to go.
Oh, yeah. He played pretty well last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That's a good thought, though, in Clemson. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Well, it's interesting. These lawsuits keep happening. Mississippi kid, the Chambliss kid, kept suing, waiting till he got the right judge. Maybe Morris will do. I'm guessing he's going to get a 7th year at some point.
Yeah. Morris just has to go sue where it's favorable. Honestly, he probably Duke would be a good option.
Yeah, Duke
Clemson would be a good option. All you got to do is go find a judge in whatever state that would rule in your favor. And probably someone who has ties, because the whole issue with Mensa and Duke was that a judge was sorry, no, I'm thinking about the Alabama basketball. Where an Alabama, someone who had ties with Alabama, I think through fundraising, ruled in favor of the player, and you just have to get yourself some favorable judge these days until the NCAA grows a spine. But
Georgia Tech, yeah, that's true. I don't know what their situation is down there. I don't know who they brought in.
Roanoke College.
Hey, that's right. Boy, he would shine in the ODAC, wouldn't he? My goodness gracious. Well, I think he's got somewhere he knows he's going to go. I'm going to predict Duke, and then he'll play for what, a couple $1 million, who knows how much, and then I've padded my bank account again, and then I'll go out and maybe try to get a real job. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to see the responses, especially from Tech fans. They were having a field day with that one. But he won't be at UVA one way or the other. They've already spent, like you said, $6-7 million on the 2 quarterbacks they brought in. So,
yeah, I hate that we're still talking about musical chairs and where players are going now here in late February.
I know.
I mean, spring ball hasn't started yet, so
yeah, that's true.
I guess if you're a football player, you can be a late enrollee and get caught up on whatever. And I mean, Moore should have degrees by now, so I'm sure they can find him some classes to make sure he's eligible for the semester next.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly the whole educational part got thrown out, isn't it? The last couple of
exactly.
years. I'd never see it becoming a problem. What happened to the old APR and having to work to make sure you stay? I haven't heard one argument about academics in the last 2.5 years.
And I know APR is still academic progress rate, guys, not Antoine Powell Ryland.
No, not that APR.
But yeah, that's still factoring in. So, good point, Wayne. Just like Carson Beck. Maybe if there's a Cavender twin out there that can lure Chandler Morris to a particular school, that could work.
They broke up too, didn't they? They didn't stay together very long. That's a shocker. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and then of course that led to the rumors of who Beck was seeing at the end of the season, and for unfavorable ears, I will probably not say anything else.
I forgot about the Cavender twins.
Yeah,
they're going to be in another profession probably at some point down the road. We'll see.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the Collegiate Times? Kudos to those young people trying to dig out information about Tech's roster, right? That was Tech's not doing anything wrong. They don't have to report it because they're not employees, but kudos to young people trying to get some information. I thought that was kind of cool, that piece that came out.
Yeah. I mean, Andy and I have done the same thing.
Yeah, right.
I would like just to get the full breakdown of the rev share payments.
Yes.
For starters, just give me this. That's what I want.
You don't need to know what each guy's making.
Right now, I could care less about the breakdowns. Now, I could, if I wanted to, get specific in these requests and saying I'd like you to break it down to the quarterbacks, just all the quarterbacks, just
sure,
like something like that. But again, colleges have been tight-lipped about this. But I think Sam Mosto did a very solid point of mentioning that Andy and I both had details on Brent Pry's contract, a month before they announced him on staff.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, that's easy to reveal, but no, we can't give you any information on how much players are making.
It's true. That's true. I like what you said is what I'd like to know. And I'm not even trying to do it because I want to dig into it. I just want to know what we're looking at from how the landscape's playing out here, with Virginia Tech and their new coaching. That's all. Just see how much money was spent. That's all I need.
Yeah, I'd like to know, one, I would like to know how much of the $20.5 million went to football, and then how much went to the other sports. So that's just where I'm at. We can go based off what Whit Babcock said, which would be the general consensus is 75% went to football. I think it's 15% goes to men's basketball, 5% to women's basketball, and then 5% to the other sports. And most of those other sports are getting scholarship additions versus actual cash. So I would like to see that breakdown and see, cash versus additional scholarships and the whatnot. So that's kind of my curiosity. I understand, from the college kid standpoint, they're like, all right, we're here paying tuition. We want to know how much is a classmate of mine making to play sports here versus me who's paying tuition and having to work a bunch of jobs, because they know these classmates who are in sports are not paying tuition if they're on scholarship. So I get it from that standpoint. From a journalistic standpoint, I kind of just want the round numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because once the other schools start releasing, okay, this is how much we paid for football, for rev share, in the other sports, then it's like, okay, now I need to see where Virginia Tech's stacking up.
Yeah, right.
That's my curiosity versus each player. But then if I wanted to do a breakdown, I want position groups. And that way I can say, all right, so quarterback's got X amount, and I can kind of figure out, okay, drone's got most of that. And then other position groups, wonder, there's a part of me that wonders how much did Marcellus Hawkins get last year because he's a D2 transfer, and then be like, all right, well, he's probably getting a significant pay bump now. And I think I could be totally wrong on this, but it could be I've heard James Franklin has a pay structure for rev share with his players, where if you're a senior you get more, junior you get based on how long you've been in the program, and he won't overpay for freshmen, especially when it comes to recruiting battles. So I think that would be proprietary information that they would claim that to be like that, so that way they don't have to reveal how much they're giving, especially to freshmen or into transfers. So that way, they don't lose a quote unquote competitive advantage when it comes to recruiting, whether it's, again, high school recruiting or transfer portal. So that's probably going to be why those numbers are going to get fought for being released, and why I just want those sports specific numbers versus players.
Well, I know.
If that makes sense.
The investors might want to know that too. The donors that are,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Hey,
I'd like
I
to know
guarantee the donors know. Like,
yeah, you think so? You think they've given them like information?
Oh yeah,
separate.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you they've told the donors, all right, this is where your money's going, and being specific with it. So
you wonder if somebody's going to leak that at some point, because like Ohio State did with Texas Tech. Hey, $60 million, come play for us, right? They don't care. So it's interesting.
Yeah, because they can. The $60 million would be the whatever amount you get from rev share plus NIL, and again that goes to pay for play. And I would like to see NIL get back to what it was designed for, which was name, image, and likeness, not a.
Yeah, it's pay for play now.
Yeah.
I'm with you. It'll never go back. I think the NIL part's done. People just have to start doing it PFP now. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Hey, you got a question? Okay, what do you think, Damien's going to happen with the conference championship? Since, well, that's true. Big teams don't play each other, so the best two teams aren't guaranteed. What do you think is going to happen, with all these leagues?
It will likely be determined based on whether or not you have an expanded college football playoff field.
Yeah.
If you stay at 12, you'll still have conference championship games. And like we saw this past year with Miami not being in the ACC title game, you're probably going to run into situations where one of the two best teams in your league will not be in the title game. If the CFP expands to 16 teams or even to 24, you're probably going to have to eliminate the conference championship game weekend. So that way you can accommodate the extra round of the playoffs. And ideally, this is just me speaking from how I want to see things. I like to see the college football season wrapped up by January 1st. So get rid of the league title games and then go right into the playoffs. And however you want to do it.
I'm with you.
That means Army, Navy's got to be moved up to Thanksgiving weekend.
I think that's going to happen. That's getting a lot of momentum, it feels like.
Yeah, the problem is that's going to get, it'll lose the luster of.
Agreed. It could. Yeah.
Unless you play it on Thanksgiving Day and then somehow.
And the NFL games dominate Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah. And, I mean, you can move it to that Friday.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I think eventually. Well, it's going to go to 16. I think that's going to happen. 16, I think, hopefully will be the cap. I hope they don't do this. Yeah. The whole 24-team thing, man. Whew, that looks terrible.
In 16, they're not doing a straight 16. They're doing like some sort of play-ins things with the 13 plays 16, 14 plays 15. That's your first round. Then you go to the 12, which means your top four still get buys, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like that. I wish it would just be do it like the FCS. Yeah.
Well, the FCS is 28, so they play.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
You do 5 through 28 the first weekend, and then it goes to the round of 16, and then but there's no these big gaps with the FCS. Regular season ends, you get the first round, then you get the round of 16, you get your quarterfinals, your semifinals, and then there's a little break in there to get you set up for the national championship game. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I like that. 16, I think, is fine. That's the number I kind of want, and then have them all play. No more buys, end all the stupid buys, and make teams earn it and play the games. However it looks like.
I would go straight from the regular season. If you want to give them a week, that's fine. And then December, you get your round of 16, your quarterfinal, your semifinal, and then January 1st, you get your national championship game, put at the Rose Bowl. You wrap up the season. And you know what? If the transfer portal window is going to be open January 2nd to January 16th, have the season end on January 1st, and then the portal's open, and you don't have to worry about players who are playing late into the season, going into the portal, whatnot, and afterwards, and it's all that stuff. So, I guess there will be a provision in there, Wayne, if Notre Dame's ranked in the top 16 it gets in.
It's unbelievable.
Regardless.
It's unbelievable that they have that, and they're so smug. I mean, they're so smug of it. Why does that? How is that allowed? I don't understand. Are they that important? Are they that important?
Well, right now you're guaranteed a conference champion. 5 conference champions. One from each of the Power 4, and then one from the top one from the other 6. So I think you have to have some sort of provision for Notre Dame in there. So yeah, it makes sense. I don't want them to go into guaranteeing a certain number of bids per league. I know that was on the table with the Big Ten earlier. They wanted like 4 each for the SEC and Big Ten, 2 each for the ACC and the Big 12. I think if you let it play out organically, you could have a year where the Big Ten gets like 5 or 6, and the SEC maybe gets 3, and then so I would just let it play out and not shoehorn your way into getting teams into the field. So, but Prometheus is right. It's television money. There will be eyeballs, especially if Notre Dame's playing.
That's what they're bigger than the system. I said this many months ago. Notre Dame knows they're more important than the playoff system. Their brand is bigger to the people running college football than the system itself. And they know that.
And Notre Dame is the only program out there that has its own television contract.
Right.
That brings in a lot of money.
A lot of money. They get to keep every bit of it.
Yeah, and I can tell you this, when Liberty was an independent and I was covering them, they had a TV deal with ESPN, and they didn't make hardly any money whatsoever.
Really?
No. Because at that point, like the SEC hadn't done its deal with the ESPN. So Liberty came after the ACC, came after the Big 12, because you had part of the deal with Fox there. After the Pac-12, came after the Sun Belt, came after the MAC, came after all those. So at that point, Liberty's like, well, we just need a TV deal. And they're like, well, you get the TV deal, which gets you access to the ESPN events, own bowl games. So we'll give you like $200,000. That's your TV deal.
Yeah.
Now, Liberty doesn't reveal money, but that's kind of the sense that I got was like, it's nothing to sneeze at. Which is why Liberty's fine making $800,000 a year from the TV deal from Conference USA, because it's more than they were making before as an independent. So, and that's why, and I'll again bring up Prometheus's thing about television money. There's a reason why these, like the CFP tries to limit the amount of group of 6 teams, because one, there's no big television following for them. And then, so they're thinking there's not going to be many eyeballs for those games. And especially when they stack them on TNT against NFL games, which is what they did this past year.
I have an unrelated question, just because you started talking about it, and I want to think it, because you'll know. Has Liberty football maxed out? In other words, they got ahead of the curve with their money, and they were the first one. Now they've been surpassed in-state by JMU. The G5 is really building up, all right? I mean, there are some schools that are now doing the Liberty model, if you will. Is Liberty going to ever be able to get back to what they were looking like they were building into, or are they just going to have to accept the fact that they've been joined now by their G5 brethren and maybe even surpassed? I know they've been surpassed in their own state. What do you think? Just a random question, because you're going, you know what? They haven't been really that great the last couple of years.
No, and that's because Hugh Freeze's players are gone.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between Hugh Freeze and Jamie Chadwell in terms of coaching. And that 2023 team that went to the Fiesta Bowl, that had a lot of Hugh Freeze players on it. Liberty wants to get to the American, and I think that would help them tremendously get back to where they were, because as an independent, when you're playing the likes of BYU, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, you're playing them on a yearly basis, that's a very good recruiting pitch, especially being an independent. Now that you don't have any of those teams on the schedule, and we'll see if Liberty's 4 remaining games against Virginia Tech stay on the schedule beginning in 27. Like, what's the appeal of going and playing at Liberty if you know you're not going to play any of the big schools? That's hurt in terms of getting people in or getting athletes in. James Madison doesn't have that problem because you're in the Sun Belt. That's a good league, and and they've had good coaches. I know Chadwell's contract has not been renewed since he's been there, so I have a feeling. What has he been there? 3 years now. We'll see how much longer he has, and if Ian McCall, the athletic director, chooses to find someone to reinvigorate that program. But they want to get to the American, and if you get to the American, that's significantly more resources from television money. You're playing a much better league schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, Army and Navy are both in there as affiliates for football. So if you got in regional games against Charlotte, Temple, I'm trying to think of who else. There's more regional teams there.
Yeah, makes sense.
I
think that's got legs to it? You think that's got legs to it at some point? You think they'll be looked at?
Yeah. Liberty's investment to athletics and its facilities is on par with the American.
Yeah, it is.
And they're good in the other sports. I mean, basketball is 23-4.
Yeah, they are. Their Olympic sports are all good. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they just got to get football back on track. And that means you got to win the league every year.
Yeah.
And they also have the series with James Madison. They're playing 8 times or so. So, yeah.
I thought Chadwell would be a little better recruiter than he's been. That kind of has surprised me a little bit.
Well, he's struck out on quarterbacks.
Yeah, he has.
And they keep getting hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. If you don't have that, especially at that level, you got to have a special guy like ODU had.
Right. And then the year they went to the Fiesta Bowl, they had 2 1,000-yard rushers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But they haven't had that since. And that comes down to quarterback play. And you don't have a quarterback like Hayden Salter who went to Colorado. You don't have that type of threat.
Yeah, no Malik Willis walking through that door recently either.
Malik Willis rated the #1 free agent according to Ian Rappaport, so he's going to be making some money.
Yeah, well, Ian Rappaport. Yeah, he's good. I like him. I like Malik. He's settled in well. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, basketball question. We've been talking about it a little bit this morning. What do you think? Tech, I don't think BC matters, but they got to win that game, obviously. But UNC UVA have to be 2 wins, right, for Tech to get back on the bubble.
I think they need to go at least 2-1 and then win 2 games in the tournament, because then you could say
that's fair. That's fair.
Because if you do that, you're 11-10 against league play, and that looks a lot better than being below 500.
Yeah, they won't get taken under 500. Yeah, you're right.
What you can't do is beat UNC and then lose to BC.
Oh, that would just be
and then beat UVA, because then the committee's going to look at your resume and go, "What the hell? What's this?"
And I don't think they're going to win at UVA at all, but I think they can beat UNC, and I think they'll beat BC. So
I honestly think they can beat UNC, but then the Virginia Tech thing would be beat UNC and then lose to BC.
Yeah,
but
that's true. That's true.
I think you got to take care of business. If you go 2-1 in that stretch, and then you win 2 games in the ACC tournament, and then lose the third one, again, that puts you at 11-10 against league competition if you include the tournament. That looks a whole lot better in terms of resume on the bubble versus some like a San Diego State, or I don't want to put VCU in there because VCU has a head-to-head win over Virginia Tech. Granted, you can put an asterisk on that because I believe that was a game Tech didn't have Lawal. Again, if Tyler Johnson's able to come back, the NCAA the selection committee has already said they're going to judge a team based on how its roster is constructed, and this is based on the question about Alabama. So if Virginia Tech can get Tyler Johnson back and be at full health, then if you can beat UNC, you beat BC, you play tough against UVA, maybe you lose that by single digits, but you can say you're playing better, you win 2 games in the league tournament, and you don't get blown out at the third. You have a good case that you are playing your best basketball here at the end of the year because your entire roster is available. So that would be the best bet I would say for the Hokies to make the tournament. You had another quad win against UNC. You maybe add a quad win in the league tournament, and all of a sudden your resume looks significantly better against teams that may not have the wins that the Hokies racked up this year. And for Virginia Tech, I'm going to say this selfishly, you want George Mason, my alma mater, to win the A-10 title, because then you can say we have a win over the A-10 champion.
That would
that
help.
looks good on the resume.
Going to be tough, though, St. Louis. They're good.
Oh, yeah.
Really good.
And
the Tyler Johnson injury, I don't know. This has been the most bizarre thing that's been going on for 2 months, and Mike Young has been saying the same thing for the last month and a half, and yet he's never on the floor. Either he's getting bad information or from his medical team, or something's wrong. Something's weird about Tyler Johnson, in my opinion. I don't know.
Or Mike Young's doing a great car salesman job of
yeah.
He knows the situation. He's trying not to.
Bizarre.
This sounds like Brent Pry at the beginning of the 2023 season saying, "Oh, Nick Gallo is going to be a game time decision for the opener."
Yeah.
And it's like he tore his ACL in the scrimmage. It's the worst kept secret. How is he going to be available? So
it was like a Liz Kitley. Remember the Liz Kitley thing? Everybody knew she tore her ACL. I got a call that night, and everybody, we're going to wait and see. She's going to be practiced.
Right, but the whole deal was the NCAA, especially for the women's side, had set the precedence the year prior, where, excuse me, by not disclosing the injury early, you protected your seeding, and that's what Katie Brooks is trying to do there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I hope Johnson gets on the floor. It'd be nice to see Tech have a full complement of players as they try to go on a run in the ACC tournament. That'd be nice to see. But this team's never going to know what it could have been, and I've said that all along, and people accuse me of being an apologist, but it's just fact. If you don't – look how long you've covered college basketball, Damien. How many times you've talked to coaches? They lose one guy. It's like, man, everything changes. We can't practice the way we want. Well, heck, Tech's had 2 or 3 guys out basically the entire year at some point. It's just been crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mike Young doesn't have his full complement. I mean, Snook Bierken's not going to play because he's practicing with football now, he's there at the games with the basketball team. So if he had played during the year, that would be a loss, but it's like one less guy now available, I think, for practice and stuff. So, yeah, one thing or another, he's had something come up where it's just like, yeah. Injury-wise, this Pierkin was getting back ready for football. So, yeah, I'm sure Mike would like a full complement of roster here.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a full complement. It would be nice to have it.
Yeah.
Finally, I have to ask you, what was your reaction, Team USA? What a great win. How fun was that on Sunday with the hockey game?
I'm not going to lie, it was in between Sunday school and service, and I was one of several people who had my phone out and was watching that, and I may or may not have yelled and screamed at the top of my lungs when that goal was scored.
During the sermon?
Well, it was before service started.
Oh, so, okay, I got you.
So it was in that little 10-minute window between Sunday school and the start of service. And I was like, I got my phone out. I'm like, oh man, they're going to overtime, and I didn't know if overtime would start, and then I'm just glad that got scored in like 90 seconds because I don't know if I would have been. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, brother. Well, listen, great stuff. Enjoy your weekend, and you don't go to the Big South tournament all day. You're probably too tired.
I'll be down there if either Radford team's playing.
No, okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be there. Will you be there on the quarterfinal Friday?
No.
No, it has to be in the championship. What you tell me?
Yeah, because I'll be covering probably the Washington Lee women.
I got you.
In the NCAA tournament because they're probably going to be a top 4 seed. They're one of 4 undefeated teams left in Division III women. Because I'll be in the Salem Civic Center for the ODAC tournament this weekend.
Well, maybe things will work out, and I'll see you on Sunday, March 7th. Who knows? Maybe Radford will be playing for the gold. We'll see.
March 8th, right?
Whatever day it is. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, see, when's it? Well, now I got to look it up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's March 8th.
Is it the 8th?
Yeah, because there's 28 days this month.
The 6th. So. The tournament starts the 5th. Yeah, okay, we'll play on the 6th on that Friday. No, we won't. Yeah, we will. We'll play on the 6th. Semifinal Friday, yeah. And we're going to be in the late session Friday, one way or the other, either the 6 or the 9 o'clock game. So.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Yeah, because you got to play
for the turnaround if you win.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the
there's
late
not much
game.
left there.
I know. Yeah. If you're the late game, because it doesn't start till after 9. And then you got to get out and play early the next day. I know it's not good for the team that wins late. Not good. But,
no,
that'll happen if we're the 3 seed. We'll be playing the late game. So we'll see. All right, brother. Stay safe in your travels, and we'll talk to you again next week. All right, man. Be good. There you go. Damien Sordelett. Great stuff as always from DS. Great stuff always from our amazing, dazzling display of sponsors we have here on the program. Thanks to Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios. Thanks to Jason Green and company. Reach out to them and give them a call and hang out with them. He developed that logo right there. 540-200-8294. Look at that. It's in the Carolina Panther colors too, you know. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. National Bank, member FDIC. Appreciate them being my personal bank provider for the last 35 years and exclusive banking partner of BDST here on YouTube. Professional Door Incorporated. Travis Williams. They've been doing it for 38 years. Sponsor of our text line. Give Travis a call. Residential and commercial garage doors. The absolute best at what they do. The Ready Set Fund with Bob Christ. We appreciate Bob and the Ready Set Fund. BOBCRIST 11 at Gmail. If you have a personal question, want to ask, get more information, talk to Bob. Brother Dave Christ, the Hall of Famer. ReadySetFund.com to find out more information if you want to earn some money for your organization or your team. It's pretty cool. You should do it. Thanks to Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. They are the presenting sponsor of this program, and we appreciate everything that they are about and what they're conquering in Pulaski County. More big announcements coming up, and we thank them for their support here as the presenting sponsor of this program. Thanks to Little River Heating and Air. Thanks to Charles Lee, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. The attorney Ryan Price, sponsor of BDST Fan Question of the Week, which is now 22-3 in favor of Tech not making the NCAA tournament. Thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. James been doing it since 1997. Windows, doors, plumbing supplies. Give him a call, 540-381-8011. The NRB Super Bowl over in Christiansburg, and it is a Super Bowl, man. It's a fun time, 540-382-5525. Go see them, hang out with them. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. And I believe that is everyone. Mark Hundley, McClellan Chiropractic. Yeah, we got him in, sponsor of our chat room. Thanks, Marco. March after the season, we'll be there. We're going to film me going through the arsenal of equipment that he has. I don't know. That's a good question. Anybody going to the ACC wrestling tournament? No. I'll be at basketball. Would you say, by the way, now that you think about it, David Teel going to join us coming up, by the way. Would you say that is wrestling now, until football gets back up to snuff, if you will, is wrestling the marquee program at Virginia Tech right now? From a national perspective, yeah, I guess it has to be. Until football gets back, basketball hasn't been able to. Women's basketball's, I don't want to say fallen off, but hasn't gotten back up to Final Four level, had its one magical year. Baseball's kind of, softball's good, but yeah. ACC, Virginia Tech wrestling. Next year for sure, they're gearing up for a run. Feels like, other than the women's Final Four, that the Tech wrestling team has the best chance at winning the school's first ever national championship. It's kind of what it feels like. And I don't know all the ins and outs of where they are with NIL. I don't know how all that works with pay for mat play, as it were. But recruiting still goes very, very well. And I think the folks who are loyal to that program are as loyal to the wrestling program as any program over there. So pulling like heck for them. I hope they can get it done. Wouldn't that be cool? Be really cool. Be really cool. We're trying. We're trying. Still haven't gotten a response on Megan Duffy. So we're trying to get coaches. Just know I'm trying. But, yeah, it's very strange. Very strange. So hopefully I'll find something out. I wonder what they've raised. I wonder what kind of donors they have. I don't know the answer to it. I'm just wondering. I wonder how that world, the whole wrestling world, I wonder how that gets taken care of, not only at Tech, but throughout the country. There's got to be something that some of those big programs are given to wrestlers. I don't know. There's got to be a market for that, just like there is in any other sport. Of course, the money's not the same, but you know what I'm saying. So I wonder how they get, I guess it's just contributions, right, Chris? Wouldn't you say? Individual contributions, probably, since they don't get any money from the school. Don't you think that would have to change a little bit? Especially if they continued to be a top 10, top 5 program. Wouldn't you give them a little something? Just my opinion. But I get it. I get it. Football has to be good. And you have to make sure you pay all your attention to that. I completely understand. 100%. But they have carved out a terrific program. They really have. They're awesome. They're really, really good. So hopefully that will continue. Keep it going in chat. And joining us now on the program, we keep it going with that gentleman, David Teel. David, how are you, man? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I want to start out. Great piece that you had written. Of course, you know, it's very, very sad when you get news about anybody that, you know, we've covered in state and, you know, especially a young man that has passed away. Your piece was really good. And, you know, when we talk about, you know, Dwight Vick was the first one, I guess, to break the news. But talk about Ronyell Whitaker and that piece. And you remember covering him very well. You know, it's very sad, very sad.
Well, full disclosure, Rick, I didn't write that piece.
Oh, it wasn't your piece? Okay, I saw your tweet about it. So
yeah, it was our sports editor, Jamie Frankenberry, and he did a really nice job. And yeah, I don't know who it was on Twitter. It might have been Dwight. It might have been another one of Ronyell's teammates who dubbed him the Godfather of DBU. And really, it's true.
Yeah.
Because in 2001, as a redshirt junior, Ronyell Whitaker became the first Virginia Tech defensive back since Frank Loria in 1967 to make an Associated Press All-American team. He was third team All-American that season, first team All-Big East naturally. And that really started the flood of All-American DBs at Virginia Tech. And then you go to Jimmy Williams and D'Angelo Hall and Brandon Faison, and it just rolled from there. And, as a sophomore, he had the great game against West Virginia on the Thursday night at Lane. He had 2 picks and 11 tackles. And let's not forget his athletic lineage. His uncle was, in his prime, pound for pound, the best boxer on the planet.
Absolutely.
And that was Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Best nickname ever, by the way. Why can't I have a nickname like Sweet Pea? Yeah, exactly.
It's a strange name for a boxer, though.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Trust me, in the ring, there was nothing sweet about Pernell Whitaker.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And you had to live in these parts, Rick, back in Sweet Pea's prime to understand what a big deal he was.
Yeah, absolutely.
To this community and this region. And it's a different era, and your younger audience perhaps can't appreciate what boxing was back then, as opposed to, it was a sideshow then, and, there was always theater involved.
Yeah.
But he was an outrageously gifted athlete, and he just captivated people.
It's been a tough off the field year for Tech with Mr. Worsham and now Ronyell Whitaker, right? Both passing away. So
Lane Stadium and Worsham Field.
Very bad, very bad. Well, yeah, Ronyell will be missed. There's no doubt about it. And he set like you said, he set a legacy that has kept the ball rolling for many, many years, almost 2 decades and a half later. Yeah. Chandler Morris suing the NCAA. We're seeing more and more of this because, hey, it's another payday, right? They may not be NFL caliber, so let's try to stay paid. What do you think about his future? Will he win this, and where will he end up now that UVA's already invested in that position very well to replace him?
I was going to say, who's going to pay him?
I don't know. Duke? I don't know.
His daddy's the OC at Clemson again. I really, with Bo Perbula and Eli Holstein in the fold, this can't make them happy if on the off chance he wins this. And I mean, I know the root of it. I wrote about it back in December. This goes back to his 2022 season at TCU. And yes, he appeared in 4 games, but there were 2 of them were just kneel downs at the end of the season. And, he was hurt. And now the lawsuit also cites some mental health issues. But if he wins this and he intends to stick around at UVA, the dynamic, it will be very dicey for Tony Elliott and Taylor Lamb and Des Kitchings to navigate that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I don't know how you would, since you've already committed and you've got an idea who your quarterback was going to be. I don't know how in the world. I mean, I know nothing seems impossible for Tony Elliott after you got the program through the immense tragedy of the shootings. But, yeah, he would have another different type of challenge that he would have to figure out. He's been a very good problem solver. I'll give him that since he's been there. So, crazy. How much fun did you have at the UVA Miami game, by the way? That turned out to be a terrific basketball game to watch.
It was an exceptional basketball game, wildly entertaining. And 2 NCAA tournament caliber squads. And then last night, my goodness, no looking ahead to Duke for UVA. They just to use Will Wade's description, Virginia steamrolled NC State last night. And after halftime, it was never much of a contest. And Virginia was great defensively in the first half. They end up the game with 12 block shots. They're the number 2 shot blocking team in the country. Johan Grunlow and Ugo Onyenso combined for all 12, 8 by Grunlow, 4 by Onyenso. And when you can bring one 7-footer in after another, I mean, this is the luxury that Ryan Odom has. Grunlow blocked 3 shots in the first 3:16 last night. And what does he do? He keeps to his normal substitution pattern and pulls him and puts Onyenso in. And literally on the very next sequence, Onyenso blocks a corner 3 by Paul McNeil. And if you're Will Wade, you got to be down at the other bench going, what the hell? What are we supposed to do here? And then in the second half, Virginia flipped the script and, oh, by the way, shot 70% after intermission and scored 58 points.
If they're making their threes, good luck beating them. I mean, that's
made a dozen of them last night, 12 for 26. Ridiculously efficient beyond the arc. Sam Lewis for the second time in as many games against NC State. Very effective. And hello Saturday at Cameron Indoor.
Oh, my goodness gracious. You've been making a road trip for that one, right? Is that where
you think?
We talked about it when it happened, David, but how about Ryan Odom? We knew on paper it just felt like a perfect fit. He just looked like the part, and my goodness gracious, he has just fit in perfectly down in Charlottesville.
Well, fit is the proper word, Rick, and not necessarily, and while it's apt for Ryan and UVA, the most important fit is Ryan's roster construction. Yep. And how he has fit these puzzle pieces together into how he wants to play.
Yeah.
Virginia is big. They are physical. They are deep. They are skilled on the perimeter. They are a problem. Now, how much of a problem they can pose to the Blue Devils on Saturday, we'll see. Because, my goodness, Duke was impressive Saturday in D.C. against then number 1 Michigan. And you think Michigan went into that game as the number 1 defensive team in the country, and Duke scored 11 points on its final 5 possessions to clinch that. And it all went through your almost certain National Player of the Year in Cam Boozer.
And we talked about the ACC and the net and their reputation this year. That only enhances it more to have your number 1 team go in there and win that game like that. That helps all these other teams too in the ACC. That was a huge profile win for the league, man. Huge.
No question. And, we talked about all year how much better the ACC was collectively in the non-conference. And that win puts them 1 game above 500 against its Power 4 peers. Power 5 in basketball because you count the Big East.
Right.
But against its high major peers for the season. And last year they were 30 games below 500 against the other power conferences. And this year they're a game above. So it is a complete reversal of fortune.
Well, let's turn our attention to Virginia Tech. Many people asking in chat. They look good against Wake. They needed that. Nito played well. Yep. Is this a situation where they have to go 3-0, 2-1? If you can get Carolina, maybe they're vulnerable now, but they've been playing a little better, bouncing back without their superstar. What do you think about Tech now, and how far would they have to go in the tournament to get back on the bubble?
Well, it's always a case, Rick, of it depends on what happens elsewhere. Do we have bid thieves? Does Miami of Ohio lose in the MAC tournament, then drop into the at-large pool where they're probably going to get a bid? That means the MAC goes from a 1 to a 2-bid league. Ditto the Atlantic 10. Is St. Louis, which just got absolutely housed last night by Dayton, does St. Louis hold serve and win the Atlantic 10, in which case I suspect the A10 is a one-bid league, or do the Billikens slip up in the A10 tournament in Pittsburgh, and then the A10 becomes a two-bid league? So those are just two examples of how you're beholden in large measure to what happens elsewhere in the country. Virginia Tech surely has to beat either Carolina or UVA.
Right.
And maybe both. You just can't tell. And oh, by the way, the Tar Heels are undefeated in the Smith Center this season. And Virginia's only lost once at home, and that was to Carolina.
Right.
A full-strength Carolina.
A full-strength team, yeah. So it's daunting, to say the least.
It is. It is literally a tall task because, Carolina with Henry Vasar and Jaron Stevenson and now bringing others off the bench to replace, Zayden High is playing a bigger role now that Caleb Wilson's out. And then Virginia is so big and physical. Now, that did not deter the Hokies from beating the Cavaliers, obviously, in Blacksburg. But at JPJ, it'll be much more challenging.
Yeah.
And then depending on how those games fare, then how does the bracket fall in Charlotte at the ACC tournament? And could they do themselves some good there?
Well, we may not be having these conversations next year because it looks like the expansion bubble, the expansion train seems to be rolling for the NCAA tournament. We're not surprised by it, but it sounds like they want to expedite this process. What have you heard regarding it feels like imminent expansion of the NCAA tournament?
Well, I know when the media gathered in Indianapolis, I guess a week ago, Rick, for a mock bracket, they coincided with the selection committee's early reveal of the top 16 seeds. Dan Gavitt, the NCAA's vice president for basketball, said, no decision until the spring. And if it happens, my sense is it will be 76 and not 72. But I'm still not convinced that it will happen. It's all about the money and
right.
The TV partners. Can they? Because they're not going to take a lower cut on the per unit share for that each team earns for every game it plays in the tournament. So are CBS and Turner willing to pony up for the extra games? Do they see value in essentially more first four games? And that's above my pay grade. That's up to their bean counters to figure out.
My guess is they will. I hope they don't. I think it's the most perfect event we have left. The only thing that's left we have, it seems like, in collegiate sports to grab onto. So surely they're going to mess it up. Surely they will. But I get it. Yeah, you're right. It's all about following the dollar. And I'm guessing somebody will ante up if they want the contract. It feels like it. But you think it'll be structured that way? Let's just add another couple of days of first four games. Is how
not another couple of days. They'll all be on the same days.
Same day. Just have
there will just be other sites beyond Dayton,
just like they do in the other rounds. I got you.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. All still quiet on the Tech football front, right? We haven't heard nothing new coming out of Blacksburg. You heard anything?
No, there may be some assistant coach availability next week. Nothing finalized yet. We'll see. We've already heard from the coordinators. This would be more positional coaches. Great to hear from Danny O'Brien, the quarterback's coach, and some of the other new assistants and some of the holdovers as well. Matt Moore on the O-line, Fontel Mines at receiver, what went into their decisions to remain in Blacksburg and whether they explored other opportunities. We know that James Franklin tried to hire Fontel Mines away from Virginia Tech. And as James Franklin pithily said, I got Fontel Mines a raise here by trying to hire him.
That's right. That's true. Hey, finally, I want to ask you, how cool was Sunday, Team USA hockey? Every time we get frustrated with what's going on in sports, the real business part of it, that reminded us. And on the 46th anniversary of the 1980 team, how great was that? How fun was that to see that goal and that celebration?
Yeah, we're old enough to remember 1980 and Lake Placid, Rick. And if I'm right here, and I believe I am, this is the first time the U.S. has ever won hockey gold away from the United States.
Yes.
You know, they had won in Lake Placid, and then they won somewhere out west. I want to say Squaw Valley.
Yes,
is where they won the other gold medal. So, you know, to do it over Italy and of course over rival Canada in such dramatic fashion. The 3-on-3 overtime is kind of weird. You know, I'm not a hockey guy, but just why not play 5 on normal way? I mean, does basketball play 2-on-2 in overtime? No, just play. But no, but great stuff, and it'll ramp up the rivalry even more now.
It will. And those teammates, you know, guys who are on separate teams Ashton Matthews is the captain of the Maple Leafs playing there for Team USA, leading Team USA. So it's going to be interesting as they meld back together tonight as the league gets back into play. Well, man, I know you will. Have fun down at Cameron Indoor this weekend. I know you will.
And then, you know, the Hokies with a large game across town Saturday night in Chapel Hill.
Absolutely. Massive to start maybe what could be final run to build their resume. No doubt about it. All right, my friend. Thanks so much, David. Great to see you, brother.
All right, Rick. Be well.
All right, you too, man. Take care. David Teel doing us on the program. Travel time for him. That'll be great. He's going to be down in Durham. So that's cool. Hit us up in the comment section. Hit us up as well. I am going to go. I hear Creed upstairs. Let me go take care of him. I'll be back. You don't mind looking at Selma. Let me go see what's going on with him, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. He was see you, Selma. He wanted to go outside he wanted to go outside upstairs for some reason. He usually comes down here and he'll hang out. But he wanted to go outside, front door. So hit us up. Look at those earrings. I know, right? Great earrings for Selma. I sent Wayne from Ohio a graphic that showed up on X, her at 58. And he was just like, really? Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Great earrings. Thanks to Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios, Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic, Professional Door Incorporated, Travis Williams, sponsor of our text line. Thanks to Louise Baker. Thanks to Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, Little River Heating and Air, the attorney Ryan Pry, National Bank member FDIC, and Ready Set Fund, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, and the NRV Super Bowl. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, it was weird. I thought I kept hearing him, even through the headphones. He was just up there being loud, and I'm like, why is he stuck? No, he just wanted to go out the front door. Yeah, he just said, no, I'm not going out. I'm not going out there. I'm going to go down here. All right. Good stuff, though, from all of our guests. Thanks to Kion, thanks to Damien, and thanks to David Teel. Let's see if anything's broken here today. See if anything on X is broken sports-wise here this morning. I don't think anything. Everything's pretty calm. Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. One thing about, you see all these reports, and there's like an article from On3 today saying the $40 million college football rosters arrived. Multiple Power 4 programs have officially crossed the mark. Really? I mean, don't you think it was before this year? It's like the people are just getting caught up with all of that. Yeah. I mean, are we surprised by that amount of money? We see, I'm just wondering if, I swear now, I'm just not at Radford or mid-majors. But I'm telling you, I'm starting to wonder, are we just being snowed? And I would have to research it, and I need to start talking to some people about, like, are the reports of the money that's being lost and the debt associated with athletics, and yet then you find out about the endowments, and I know there's percentages of the endowment that's supposed to fund athletics. Does this fall under the whole thing about not having to report revenue? I don't know. To me, things aren't, when I keep seeing all this money being spent and you hear about all these unbelievable team salaries and projects being built, buyouts to coaches that seem to be covered effortlessly. Are we just being lied to? Let's just say it the way it is. Because I don't know about you, but if I'm paying my bills every month and I see that, I have a couple subscriptions here that's just costing me X amount of dollars, I don't watch that. This would help me toward my electric bill or then I'm going to probably cancel those subscriptions, to save that money. I'm going to try to cancel those subscriptions. So I just wonder, are we just completely being lied to? $40 million rosters. It's going to be the normal. It's going to be the normal probably for every Power 4 team doing business now going forward. We already know there's a few that are over $60 million. Yes, there are budgets in place, but this is where it comes down. If you're going to keep funding it and money's going to keep coming in and you have the endowment, like you're never going to hear Notre Dame complain about it. Places like that. I told you, I talked to a guy at Tech a couple of weeks ago. He said it's all just a money laundering scheme. So I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe he's right. Because usually when you're struggling financially, you're not out spending more money. That's usually the way it works. I don't know. Anyway, just something I was thinking about with $40 million rosters and so forth. Craziness. Absolute craziness. Wow. But anyway, been seeing LeBron James get a lot of hate on X. It's great. His flops and his complaining and the fact that he's tried to go to super teams. I'm glad to see everybody else is starting to catch up with what's going on. It's great. It's great. People that are saying, hey, you know, trying to compare Jordan and LeBron. Come on, just stop. Just stop. Anybody else not excited at all about Major League Baseball starting up? It's going to be the last year we have, maybe for a couple of years. I think there's going to be a huge work stoppage, a lockout. The players are never going to want to accept a salary cap. I don't think the owners are going to play again until there's a cap and there's a floor. The Dodgers have perfected a way to get away with the new rules of deferring all this money. They have the ability to do it, and Major League Baseball's rules under Rob Manfred have allowed it. Not everybody has the Dodgers' resources. There are many owners who do not, but most, you know, if they're not billionaires, they have money. But at some point, when you see a graphic that only 8 teams probably realistically have a chance out of your 30 to compete for a championship, I mean, you're already taking over 3/4 of the market out of the equation. So what we're going to see is, I think after the final pitch of the World Series, you might see a lockout come the next day from the owners. And I don't know how it's going to be resolved. I really don't. Tebow excited about his Phillies. Enjoy it this year. You better get it done this year. Hey, if it comes down to you and the Dodgers, I'll be pulling for you. Yeah, you go. Chris Lester hadn't watched baseball in 30 years. It's just gotten so ridiculous. And, you know, to be able to defer billions of dollars in salary, I don't understand how that's a thing. But here we are. Here we are. And it's under so much scrutiny right now. And I do believe we're going to have a substantial stoppage of the game. That's why I'm trying to get into college baseball. I'm glad to see Tech and Radford off to good starts. That's probably how I'm going to enjoy baseball this year. I have my first broadcast coming up Friday at Williams Field. Hey, I do hope if you're ever around, you have the time, you should come out. English Field is beautiful over in Blacksburg, and I'm sure many of you have probably gone over there. But if you ever come down to Radford, you'll have a great experience. Check out our facilities. Softball field's adjacent to it. It's now turfed and brand new fences and scoreboard. It's really nice. And we play UVA next Tuesday, and we'll be broadcasting that one. But I'll be hanging out at least Friday and Sunday. I won't be able to do the game Saturday. We'll have one of Roth's tech students doing the game, SMA students on Saturday, because I'll be finishing up Radford's basketball regular season in Farmville. But weather gets a little warmer, you should come out and hang out at Williams Field. Come by and say hi. We'll hang out and have a good time. But I'm going to try to get into college baseball. Alex will be on tomorrow and enjoy it. It's probably the purest form that we have right now. And to see the players already aligning, saying that they will never accept the cap, it's just – it goes back to showing you that – and I know it's obvious, but money is the thing. It's not the love of the game. It's not the opportunity to play the game for most of those guys. Hockey players, it feels different. But the NBA – it's a lifestyle. It's not about the game. They're in the load management. NFL is becoming less and less about the game. They ignore the game on the field for all these other things. And I think Major League Baseball is getting there as well. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I hate to see it turn into what it's turning into, but here we are heading into 2026 with a massive dark cloud. And there's many longtime baseball writers and talking heads on the MLB network that feel like this is going to be it for a while. Enjoy it in 2026 while you can. And there needs to be a cap, but there needs to be a floor as well. And it's true. Players will shoot back. There are owners who have the money. They just refuse to spend it because they like to have their money. And I get that. There have been a lot of franchises that have done it the other way. But it's broken. It's broken. And we'll see what the numbers look like TV-wise and attending in person-wise. I used to always catch the Padres as many times as possible. Twice in Cincinnati back in the day when they shared the same division. We tried to go a couple times. I went to Atlanta from time to time. Got to see them play Baltimore when they did the interleague play a couple of times. Seen them play the Nats. Seen them in Pittsburgh. Tebow, I've seen them up at it was the old Veterans Stadium in Philly. Seen them up there. But now it feels like I don't know if I'd have any desire to go to see Major League game. Yeah, I do too, T-Bone. And you know what? I miss Veterans Stadium for baseball. I know people are going to say, oh, you're an idiot. Well, maybe so. Maybe I am. But I miss, Wrigley Field, Fenway Park. I like the fact that they remain how they are. And your new stadium's great. Pittsburgh's new stadium might be the best in baseball. There's something about that. I guess because we were growing up and that's how we got used to the game. Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, that rock hard turf. But yeah, I did too, man. I kind of miss them. I miss some of those ballparks, and I know the new parks are better. I get it. I'm not. But Tebow, you've been a Philly sports fan. There's something about the Vet, right? It was cool. So many great football games there. Wilbert Montgomery running through Cowboy defenses. Great times, man. No. Yeah, well. Yeah, the what are they? The River Yaks. Yeah, well, it was brutal, but I had a good time there. Thing about it, I avoided at the time, the Padres were so bad, I didn't get a lot of hard times from Philly fans. I actually had some good conversations with Philly fans. They didn't get on to me for wearing my Padre cap. The old taco hat, the brown one with the gold triangle. Because I think we were dead last. But I had an opportunity to go with a friend of mine, so I went to see him a couple games. Santa pelted with snow. Remember when they cheered Michael Irvin getting the concussion? Remember that? Gave him a standing ovation. Wrigley's a fun place. I've never been to Fenway. Been to Wrigley. Wasn't for a Padres game, but I went to Wrigley. It's cool. It's cool. I've seen I haven't been to Dodger Stadium. I've been to San Francisco, been to San Diego. But never been to Dodger Stadium. How many of the original parks are left? There aren't a whole lot left. But they have some wonderful design. I love Petco. Petco Park's great. I always loved the old Jack Murphy Stadium / Qualcomm. Saw many games there. I used to go to San Diego every year, and I would center it around the 9-game homestand. That used to be my vacation every year. And now it's, don't do that anymore. But Petco's nice. San Diego's got a great Great following. Great following. Yeah, Pulaski County with Reggie Jackson. The Pulaski Yankee. That was a great experience. Yankees organization is first class for a reason. And they, I was there for the last year that the App League, before it busted up, it's just not the same anymore. And the Yankees always had people there. And when Reggie Jackson was there, it was a special thing. And we had sold out crowds. And the fact I got to call 4 innings with him and meet him was tremendous. That's the best memory I have that whole time. Ken Griffey Sr. was there. I got to meet the dad from Field of Dreams. He was there, at the end. Dad, want to have a catch? That actor. But the one part of the Reggie story that's I've never told. So I get there the first day, and I'd been watching him setting up, and I got there a little early because he was there as an instructor, and he loved it. He was out there sweating with the guys. He was on the field with them. He had on the shorts. He had the stirrup socks pulled up. He had on his batten, the cutoff sleeve. The guy's still like massive, right? In his 70s, early 70s at the time. And so I'm in there and interviewing the manager for the pregame on the radio because we had all the games on radio. Not only locally, but on the minor league baseball network. So I'm in there, and Reggie had been in there taking a shower. And so he's in there, and you hear the shower fly open, and there's Reggie Jackson wrapped in a towel. And I'm sitting in there in the clubhouse interviewing the manager, and I appreciated Reggie just seeing me and didn't care. I was just one of the dudes, right? So the next thing I know, I'm sitting there and conducting the interview, and then Reggie drops the towel. So Reggie Jackson is just stark naked right there within about, 5 feet from me in his locker, and he's all, putting his deodorant on. He's powdering up. But at that moment, I'm just sitting there going, okay, I'm now part of his clubhouse experience. I'm just a dude. It made me feel really good. And then Reggie's having a conversation with me. I'm done with the interview. And I get introduced to Reggie Jackson. He's just talking to me, having this conversation, not a stitch of clothing on. Mr. October. I see you, Wayne. And I tell him who I am. Oh, cool. So I'll be talking to you. Yeah. He goes, are you cool? And then he asked me again, are you cool if I come up and call some of the innings with you? No, Reggie, I would hate that. No, how dare you ask me, Mr. October? I said, yeah, man, I'm looking really forward to it. Just whenever you can get up there. So sure enough, he's signing autographs. He had some promotional things he had to do for the organization and for the Yankees. And here he comes. Betsy Hall was the general manager. She was great. Miss you, Betsy. She leads him up through the crowd, and he comes up, and he was only supposed to be on for a couple innings, and we ended up doing 4 innings. And I'm telling you, we got the game called, but my conversation with him was the highlight. And it was so great, so great. And we started talking about his movie career, and I just remember shooting at him. We had a good rapport, and I thought at that point, and I just looked at him and went, by the way, were you really going to shoot the Queen? Remember, in Naked Gun, when he's with the Angels, he's the star at the end, or the guy at the end that is controlled by the mind-controlling device, must kill the Queen. And you see Frank Drebin trying to. But the thing that was so great about it, he didn't ask me what I was talking about. He went right into it. Like, I asked him that question, and he goes, well, Rick, that wasn't my own decision. I was being mind controlled. I would have never, ever. And it was just great. It was great. But we were talking about the 3 home run game, and we were talking about how he walked to the park that night, and he kind of felt like, yeah, I'm swinging the bat. I'm seeing the ball really good here the last couple of days. I think it's going to be a big night. And he liked the matchup, and then boom, boom, and boom. And then his legend becomes secure forever. We talked about him going into the athletics organization and what it was like being a young black player at that time, going through the minors. It was awesome. And he was talking about how important Pulaski, places like Pulaski was, and working with those guys. It reminded him of how he felt when he was a young prospect. And then Major League Baseball decided to blow up about 10 or 15 leagues, and Pulaski, the Appalachian League, got caught up in it. And it hasn't been the same since they lost their Major League Baseball affiliation. Now it's just a college baseball wooden bat league, but not the same. But that was a once in a lifetime situation. It was me and Reggie hanging out. It's actually the profile pic. It's actually the profile pic that I have on my Instagram. Is me and Reggie. I don't know how to show things like that. I'll never understand Instagram. I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue. I'll put it on here, though, if I can find it. Oh, that's cool, Prometheus. You watch a YouTube channel that talks about old stadiums with kinds of information. That's awesome. I know you're jealous, Wayne. I like to remind you from time to time that I was able to call 4 innings, get to hang out for really 2 days. He was there the next day, too. Now, he didn't come back on radio, but I was able to get there and talk to him again. Here's me and the guy from Field of Dreams, by the way. He was there. I don't know his name. He was Ray Kinsella or whatever. Remember him? Hey, Dad, want to have a catch? Ray Kinsella. Yep. I can't remember what he was there promoting. It may have been the anniversary of Field of Dreams. But, he talked about, too, he was great. He said, I was the whole point of the movie, and I only got like 5 minutes of screen time. It's like, yeah. Yeah. Here we go. You ready? Let me find a good one here. All right, Wayne, get ready. There we go. There's me and Mr. October standing in the press box at Calfee Park. Yes, sir. Look at that, Wayne. Look, Wayne. Don't you wish that were you? And there we are. There we are calling the game. There you go. Well, sometimes you worry me, Rick. Start with experiencing Reggie Dakin. However, carry on. I just felt like that was something you might find humorous. That's all. I didn't get into the details of Reggie's nakedness. I just mentioned that was kind of a surreal moment, that there he is, a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest living players we have, maybe the best living player we still have. And there he is, stark naked. And he's just talking to me like it's no big deal. Hey, Rick, what's going on? I'm coming up later, right? Yeah, we are. Yeah, you are. I can't wait to see you. Rodney, you were the official scorekeeper. That's right, Rodney. You were up there. You remember the Reggie Day. That's right. Yeah. I was announcing a game. Player dropped a fly ball, and I charged with an error. 2 innings later, was told that was an error. You said, Rodney, it's an error in my book, too. That's cool. That's cool. Yep. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. And you know what? I know he has this surly reputation. What's cool too, this was him. Look at him preparing. He was looking at some notes he had about the Yankee players right there. I think that's cool. Like he wanted to do a good job. He wanted to do a good job. But he's a really good dude. Really good dude. I still love you, Rick. It's not a fetish at all, Morris. That's funny. Morris makes me laugh. But I really liked him. He knew he'd accomplished so much. He knew he was influential, and he did. He had this surly. He said he played angry. Ask him. He goes, I was an angry guy. Most of the time I was angry. Talked about his fight with Billy Martin. 1-800-ADMIT-IT. I didn't take any pictures of that, Morris. So Rick says Reggie got his name Mr. October for a reason. Hey-o! And then they had a similar, Ken Griffey Sr. was out, and he was instructing the players, and he came up. He only did, I think he did 3 innings with me. But I got full 4 innings out of Reggie. And I thought he was just going to get up and leave, but he wanted – and then I remember after the 3rd inning, he goes, you want to do one more? Yes. No, 3 innings is about all I can handle there, Mr. October. Thanks. See ya. People on the text line, no, you don't do that. So people were saying, did you get his autograph? No, I did not, because when you're a media person, Roddy, you know, this is the way it works. You don't – I'm there working for the Yankees. Technically, I was working for, David Hagan and Pulaski, but you're also part of the Yankees extended organization. So, no, you don't – pictures mean more to me anyway, having those pictures for the rest of my existence. No, you don't ask for autographs. If you're, as a matter of fact, there's a thing written as a media member, you don't. If you do that, you get your credentials taken. You're not there to. So no, those of you that are sending me messages on the professional door text line, no autographs. Now you may get one. He may offer them, and but people there working in the clubhouse or something. I'm sure he signed things down there for the players and probably for everybody down there. But no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Morris says, by the way you started this, it seems you got more than an autograph. I got to see more than an autograph. I'll tell you that. Bring it home today, your meeting. You got this. Thanks, Steve-O. Good stuff. All right, that's a good way to head out. Thanks to everybody. Appreciate you so much. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. And I hope everybody has a great rest of Wednesday. Tomorrow on the program, I believe David Smith, Andy Bitter, Alex Guerra, and Dwight Vick. And Dwight's going to spend the time talking about Ronyell Whitaker. It's going to be pretty emotional. So tune us in tomorrow. Everybody take care. Thanks for your support. Thanks to our sponsors. And we'll see you on the Thursday edition. Be good, everybody.